Hey, let me try that again. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to AriesEDC. So I'm picking up on the March builds, which have now turned into the April builds, basically. We've got the 4 out of the 6 all glued up. So we have the spike with the lava flow kieranite all glued up. And I'm pretty excited about how far we've gotten. This is a AEB hawk with the black pearl carbon fiber, looking pretty good. The OD green with black liners hawk, and the bush hawk in Nitro V with the Catalox wood, looking pretty good. So we got all 4 glued up. I can't believe I just got them in a couple days ago and I've already got the handles glued up. So we got to get these all on a diet, get the pins cut and start rounding everything off. But I also have the pistol and another hawk that I built the scales for. So I want to get those 2 to this point and then, or at least get them to where they're glued up, and then I can start working on these. So let's go check those out.
Oh, hey, all right. So I have the pistol that's getting the pearl kieranite and the carbon kieranite, and we glued up the scales and created the scales, but I need to get everything smoothed out and looking good. So once I can get all these spacers to the right size and everything, then we can start looking at getting these to the same shape of these. But I'm going to come back to the pistol in a second. The same with these. These are going to take a lot more work because the thickness is different between this birch and the burlap micarta. So I have to even all of that out, which is going to take time. So basically I got to smooth all these out, get everything smoothed out on the grinder, and then get everything to the same thickness. Then I can drill the holes and get them ready for glued up. The pistol is getting a different finish on it. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to acid etch the blade, but I'm going to, I guess I don't want to pull it out. It's getting a 2-tone finish. So the flat of the blade is going to be etched, and the bevel of the blade is going to be the satin finish. So basically the opposite of the bloom cliff that's going around right now. So, but I still want to get the scales to the point where they're ready to be glued up, and then I can acid etch and get the finish, because it's not really something I could do after the blade is glued up. So time to get to work. All right, I got the pistol in a pretty good shape. I need to angle the front, but I wanted to kind of show you where we were at with this so you get an idea of what this is going to look like. I think that's going to be pretty stinking cool. And we got a black pin, and then there's going to be a white pin and white lanyard hole with the white liner. I think overall that's going to look pretty stinking cool. So I need to angle the fronts and then hand sand all that out, and then this one will be ready for glue up. Actually, it'll be almost ready for glue up, but like I just said earlier, I have to do that added etching and everything on this blade. So I'm trying to take it apart one-handed. All right, so we got that one looking pretty stinking good. Had a little setback with the hawk here with the multiple piece construction. We were doing good, but then this one kind of blew apart. So I don't know why the glue just did not set. So I kind of dippled the bottom to get these little extra holes in here for the glue. So I'm gonna have to re-glue this one up, and then I can move forward. I'm gonna try to trim, I marked where the blade is, so I'm gonna try to trim it up a little bit, and then I'm gonna glue it up again, and hopefully that will help with everything else. But we got a little setback on this one, which is fine. I'm gonna try to shape these out a little bit and then go glue these up again. This one up again. This one's fine. This one seems pretty solid, so I'm pretty happy with the way that it looks. And I think you're getting an understanding of what this one is gonna end up looking like. I think that's gonna look pretty stinking cool. So anyway, a lot of work left to do, but I'm gonna figure this one out, and then I'm gonna angle this, and we'll be looking good. And then maybe I'll walk you through the etching on this one. Plus, I have all of these that I have to work on too. So yeah, no pressure. No, I got nothing to do today. Well, all right. So I got that front rounded and polished up. I know it's so hard to see because it's white pearl, but it's nice and polished up, and it's gonna fit nicely on the knife. I took the tape off because obviously you could see I took the tape off, because while I'm waiting for this other scale to dry, which I just threw on some epoxy and I'm doing that, I'm gonna fit up the knife to make sure we're where we need to be. This gives you an idea of what this is gonna look like. Come on, you could do it, come on. I swear this was, there it is, ta-da. It was working just fine, there it is. So we got the black pin, the white pins, and that's gonna look pretty stinking cool. So we're pretty much ready for glue up, but well, yeah, I guess I could remove a little bit more material, but this is Kieranite and it moves pretty quick. But the person that is doing this pistol wants, like I said, this part up here black, so he wants that etched. So I'm going to try to do the best I can with etching, and then he wants this to be the hand satin finish. This is a challenge, but I've done it before with the Bloomcliff, and I'm going to try it with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take nail polish, and I'm going to paint the blade, everything that I don't want to get etched. So I'm going to paint the blade on both sides really well with a nice thick coat, and then I can etch it. And then when it's all said and done, depending on what the etch looks like, then I'll either tumble it, and then I might have to hand sand everything out again, but we're going to see how this works. Fingers crossed it goes like I have planned. So what I'm going to do, clean up the blade and put some nail polish on it, and then we'll be putting it in the etch. So fingers crossed this all goes well. I will update you guys here in a second. Well, all right, guys, so I got this cleaned up. I know blue might not be my color, but maybe it's yours. But so I painted the parts that I don't want cleaned. The separation between the flat and the blade is very difficult. I'm going to let this completely harden and dry, and then I'm going to sand it off slowly till I can get a nice crisp line. I don't want that to be like jagged or anything. Maybe there's a different way, and if you know a different way to do this and you're making fun of me right now, let me know in the comments. I would love to know how else to do this. Maybe Vaseline, or I don't know. So I don't know. So I got the blade painted. I'm fingers crossed that this works out. I hope it does. But I'm going to let this dry really well, and then I'm going to come back and sand it. I got this part fairly well right back here, but I need to get this part. That's where this is more important, because that's what everybody's going to be looking at. And if this side goes well, then I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. But while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to go ahead and hit the grinder. Let's get these guys done. I want to get these at least on a diet, and to where we can start shaping them up. What do you say? Let's go. right, guys, here we are with different stages. These 4 have now been put on a diet, and the handles are looking pretty good. So now I just need to round everything off and give it a good contour so it fit well in the hand. I'm pretty happy so far, and I can kind of at this point I can kind of get a good idea of what that's going to feel like. This is the Bush Hawk, and really excited about that one. This is the first one I've done, so I'm excited. And this is where I kind of get it in my hand and feel like, where do I want to put the contours? Where do I want a little bit more contouring, a little less contouring, and getting everything nice rounded off so it fits in the hand very well. You know, I could just put a squared off edge on it and be done, but that's not what I like to do. I want it to melt in your hand when you get it. We got the OD green with the black liners and the black pins. Nice classic look. That's gonna look pretty stinking good. The black pearl carbon copy, or camo carbon, wow. That's gonna look pretty sick once that's all said and done and polished up. It's gonna look pretty good. And the Kieranite, so the spike is gonna look nice with the red liners. So anyway, we got those good. I got this one painted and pretty much ready for the etch. I don't know how this is gonna turn out, so I guess we will see. And then I fixed the scale on this hawk, so I gotta it can stay out. So I got that looking pretty good. Everything's thinned out, just the J10 liners are sticking out, which that's not a big deal. I could do that here in a second. So I got these thinned out. I got fixed to that scale up, so now that scale is solid again. So I have to take this scale and get rid of all that G10 and some of the extra glue that is on there. That it's still kind of curing. It's still a little soft, so I don't want to mess with it too much. And then basically I need to put these two together and do the front and really get that rounded off and everything else. And then that one will be ready for glue up along with the pistol once this is done etching and everything else. So I think I need to go put this in the etch, and fingers crossed it all works out. I might just try to work on this line just a little bit more to get that nice so that there's no ifs, ands, or but on that. But I think it's just, I want that to be a nice crisp line, and I'm afraid it's not gonna look good, but I guess we'll wait and see what it looks like. Usually after heat treated stainless, because they heat treat the entire blade, it gets a nice even acid etch, which is cool. And just so you guys know, I'm not worried about the spine. I'm actually going to come back and knock all the etching off of the spine. So this is going to be shiny at the top. At the bottom, the only black you're going to see, or the dark gray, is going to be on the flats. So I think that's going to look pretty cool with the black and white handle materials that we're picking. So really cool. So making great progress. Well, all right, guys, I trimmed up the handle scales on this hawk and got it glued up. That one's gonna look pretty ridiculous with the handles, so I'm excited about how that one is going to end up looking. So now I need to etch that pistol. So let's go set that up. All right, guys, so I'm all set up. I have the pistol. I cleaned everything off really well, and I think I got it all marked off to where it's going to be okay. So this is going to go into, I'm going to use the gator piss for this. So I'm going to use this. This is going to go in for about 20 minutes, and then we'll pull it out and see what it looks like. And while this is sitting in here, I'm going to jump over there. By the way, this is like eagle view of the shop. That's about it. And I'm going to start working on some of those handles that are on this right there. So anyway, in we go.
All right, guys, it's been about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So I just want to check on it and see what it looks like. I don't have the cap on tight, but I just wanted to kind of peek at it and see what it is. Now, okay, well, I don't need to explain it. I get too teachy on these things. Sorry, guys. So there we go. Not bad, not bad. What's funny is you could see where I was touching it when I was cleaning it, because I was holding it back here, which I don't care, because obviously that's going to get covered by the scales. But, oh yeah, look at that. Check that out. That's awesome. Let's see the other side. Got a little streaking there, so I might need to do another etch. So I'm going to get this cleaned up. Let me put it back in. I'm gonna clean that up, kind of give it a little scrubby scrub just to see what it looks like. And then I'll assess if I need to do a double quench or not. So let me go check that out. All right, guys, so I got it cleaned up and there's a little bit of streaking in there. I think there's a good one on that side. So I want to do this again. I cleaned everything off one more time and we're gonna do 2. I'm hoping to get this a little darker, but I'm pretty happy with this. I kind of want to tumble it. My fear is the last time I tumbled something, it tumbled the nail polish off the blade. It ended up tumbling the flat of the blade, which I don't want to happen, because then I would have to hand sand the blade all out again and get all the tumbling off. I will do that, but I'm kind of wanting to avoid that at all costs. But let's do another soak, and I'll come back in another 20 minutes. All right, guys, so first, let's check in on that. I like the darkness. Unfortunately, I've cleaned this thing the heck out of it, and I still getting these little streak marks, which bothers me. So I think I'm just going to tumble this, which is going to blend all of that in, and make it look good. Like I said, my only concern is that it's going to tumble all of the nail polish off. But I guess we will see what that does. So I'm going to tumble it, and if it does knock that off, then I'll take it and, well, I'll send some pictures to see if my buddy likes it. If not, then I will hand sand all of that out and make it look beautiful. Remember, I have put the maker's mark and the custom etching on here, so I don't want to get too deep with the hand sanding, but that maker's mark and everything are in there pretty good, so I'm not terribly concerned about it, but we'll smooth it out and make it look pretty good. So that's got to tumble, and the handles are ready. We got the hawk done, so got to clean that one up. And as you saw, I was hand sanding the bush hawk, and that is looking amazing. So that's about 800 grit. And with the wood, I either Danish oil it and then linseed oil it to get that nice finish on it. Let me put a little oil on my finger so you guys can kind of see what that is going to look like. But yeah, it's gonna look pretty stinking cool. There's some nice depth in there, and it's gonna look pretty good. So gonna have to clean this one up and get it looking good, but I think the handles came out nice, and overall, bing,
Yeah. Got some glue residue. That's all that is the electrical tape residue on the blades, so that's going to clean up, no problem. But what do you guys think of that? It looks pretty stinking good. Polish this up, get some of the dirt off of it. We got our Tim B collaboration design on this one. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to clean this up, shoot some pictures over to him, see if he is happy with it. I need to just hand sand, getting some of this looking a little bit better. And yeah, I like the way that one is turning out. But got a lot of work left to go. Well, all right, guys, so here's the quick update where we are. The hawk here glued up, ready to get cleaned up and to the point where these other ones are. The pistol, I tumbled it, and it's looking much better. Don't look at the blade. It's funny how you can see where, even though I painted it pretty well, the etch actually went through the nail polish. So I had already come to the conclusion that I was going to have to hand sand that line to make that a nice clean transition. So basically I'm going to hand sand this and get that blade nice hand satin finish again. But I think the contrast is going to be pretty cool. It's pretty darn cool. I've never done that before, so it's interesting to try to do. It's going to be a lot of work, but we need to hand sand that one out, get that one done. The bush hawk, what do you guys think of that? I got the handle all rounded and polished up a little bit, nothing crazy. I still have to oil it, and I'm trying to get the grains of that wood to show through, but once I get everything oiled up and looking good, you're really going to be able to see that. But what do you guys think of that? That blade shape, kind of interesting. If you like a little Bowie-esque clip point type blade shape, I think that's pretty cool. First one I've done, and I'm pretty happy with it. So, like, if you're meal prepping, that's going to be a good meal prep. A little EDC. You can see where the edge is going to come around to about here. So yeah, it's going to be a fun little guy. But I think the handle looks good. And this one, because of the wood, I knew that handle was going to take the longest to do. And the synthetic materials won't take that long. And this one will take some time too. But I have a lot of work left to go. But that is all I'm going to do on this video. We are moving right along on the March builds that are now the April builds, or the books builds. How about that? We just call them the books builds. A ton of work to do. The next one, I'll be just finishing these guys up and getting this one on, and then hand sanding this and gluing it up. And yeah, you know, a lot of work. So I hope you guys are appreciating this, enjoying the ride as we go. But I'm going to get all of them to look like this, and then we can start doing sheaths and everything else. So thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe, like, leave a comment, or not. Again, the choice is always yours. Have a good one.